Okay, now we are going to make the little wall around the whole ear. When you look at your ear, you'll notice that it has just slight little bumps on it, which once you make an ear for it, you'll notice that they look really pretty, the silicone ears. So what I do is, this clay here, this white clay, this is Van Aken clay. I bought it at Hobby House or something like that. Can't remember where, but it's a very sulfur-free clay. It's not good for sculpting with because it doesn't give you a lot of detail. I know people that sculpt with it, but I don't use for sculpting. Well, first of all, I like to fill in the center here. That's how I start. So I got a small little gap right here, which once I get the basic layout of the little roll that goes around the clay, around the ear that leaves the flashing, then I'll go by with my tool and clean it up. But this is basically how I start. The back of the ear, you want to fill all that in with clay. All this back here up to the ear. So I will take more clay first before I do the main roll next to the flashing, and I'll push this in here just to make sure that I have that covered. Right here, as you can see, I have clay clear down to the edge here, so I can't go right there. So since I can't go right there right now, I'll stop back here and leave it that for right now, and then I will start my little wall. So what you do is this here, you just start here, and then you take your tool, you kind of pinch it on, and that kind of keeps it on so it stays, because this clay isn't really sticky. Maybe when it's brand new it might be stickier than my clay, but it's just kind of how you attach the clay. And like I say, I'm trying to leave about a quarter-inch gap or so. It's really hard back here. Actually, I'm going to start on this side now. I'm going to start on this side. If you put a little Vaseline on here, sometimes it sticks a little better. But I'm okay with how it's working. See that gap? That'll work for me. And then I'm just going to set this in here gently because there isn't a lot of room, but I want to keep it away from the main ear. Instead of trimming this now, I'm going to just add another 2 rolls so I can make a nice little wall around the edge there. And that's all I'm going to put. I used to fill this whole thing with clay and make a real nice large flashing area. But I found that the more silicone mold, the blue silicone I'm going to use for this, the more I have, the stabler the mold is. The flashing is cleaner and the ear is just cleaner. So here I'm just adding another row around, and the reason why I'm doing a roll is because the roll actually gives me the height that I want to make this wall. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now there's a return under here. I'm going to also just fill this in with clay because it's not really necessary to keep exposed. Just like that. So it's clean. And then I'll take my tool and I'll just start smoothing this clay out. with a little stiff brush. And just go ahead and wipe it on here and smooth it out. I like my molds clean, so when you look at them, they look professional. Some people don't take this time. They would rather just move on to the next part and leave it kind of rough looking. But I find if you have it smooth, it actually, the molds seal nicer. People, when they see your mold, it looks professional. Has that finished look to it. Now, take my tool. This is a dental tool. Got a little hook to it. I don't know if you can see it very well. But anyways, I use that just to kind of clean the clay up. So I'll run along the edge here. Like that. And just do it all the way around the whole thing. Like I said, under here I think I have a lot of clay, so I am going to actually trim a little bit more off than that much. Like that. Now I'm going to work on the flashing. I'm going to take this tool here, and I'm going to just go across here like that. Gives it a nice straight edge where the flashing is. And then I'll even take some Vaseline and press it down even better. I think I'm going to add a little more clay to this area right here, just so it's a little more fuller looking right in here. Now I'm cleaning up the flashing right here. Like that. I want it nice and pretty. Around there. Then, if I have to, like I say, I just take my brush and I just kind of brush it against the ear, the clay against it, just to kind of keep it flat, like that. And then I'll take my brush and then I'll go ahead and hit this line too, so it looks nice. I'm getting pretty close to this part. Is almost done on this ear. When you fill the mold with silicone and you press the mold together, you'll probably have more silicone, prosthetic grade silicone, in it than it needs. So it has to have a way out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take and we're going to add little flow areas coming out of the sides here. That'll be our next step. Okay, what I did was I rolled out some clay, and now I'm going to flatten this out. And I don't have my rolling pin with me, so I'm just going to use some bottle of something. My rolling pin's in my shop, so I'm just going to go like this. So I got a nice flat, about an 1/8 inch thick. There you go. And take my tool, go ahead and square it. I don't think it matters what thickness you make it, probably a 1/4 inch wide maybe. And this is going to be, you're going to use this for your flow area. And I take it all the way out because I want it to escape totally. Make it come over here, and I'll do one more like right here. Will probably be just fine. Alright, and then Like I say, I like to clean it up a little bit. Now that ear is actually ready to mold. All right, now I'm going to do the next one. Okay, we are ready for casting. But before we cast these, what I do is I take a marker and I mark how far the silicone mold will come out. Because I'm going to build a wall on this, and then after that, when I fill it with silicone, I pull the wall away, and then the rest will be plaster because it's going to have a mother mold over it. So I like to go in and out about maybe 1.5 inches or so around. So I'm just going to kind of dot it around it, and then I'll draw. Then I'll draw it. I'll go along that line there. So there we go. Now let me draw it. So that will actually be my silicone mold. Only that much. It'll be a little tiny area. So let's do the other ear. Got the ear. Let's see here. Got there. Okay. That will be my silicone mold. I'll probably take this down to here just so I have a lip. Alright. Now we're going to do a wall around that and pour silicone. Alright, I've actually taken and cut away some of the clay so that I can actually bring my border down and around better. I did on this one too. What we're going to make is actually this. We're going to build a wall up where that line is, and we're going to build a silicone mold just like this. Alright? And so you'll notice here I have tiny little holes in this ear. That's where the silicone keys are going to be. See the keys? All these keys right here. That's actually a plaster key, but it was overlapped, so that's no big deal. But these keys are what we're going to be putting into here. So how I do this is I will take this here and a marker again, and I'll put dots, just a couple, here, 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 and here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 dots on that one. 1, 2, 3, and 4 dots on that one. That's where I'm going to do my keys. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my drill press, drill small little holes, and then I'll take my drill gun with this kind of a tip to spread it out. And that's how these actually were built, was this same drill gun. Alright? Or bit. I got my keys. My keys are now drilled. Small keys. You can see them right here, 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 and here. Now I'm going to actually widen those just a little bit. That's what I did with these. I just widened them a little bit on this ear so that when they go in, they're just not as deep and it's not as hard to get the mold in and out of. So I'll take this and just widen them just a tad. I guess I could have used this tool first, but I find that it's more precise. I find it's more precise to just do that. And I'll do it to this one. So now we're going to start building walls. So we're going to roll out to about, I don't know, a 1/4 inch thick or so. And then we take our trusty little, I bought this at a clay shop, pottery shop. Now I'm just going to trim the top and the bottom off of it. Now is trim off these pieces where the wall is going to go around. Because I'm going to add these back anyways, once the silicone is on. Just run it along the line. That line is the inside of your mold. Kind of figure out where the cut piece is. Splice them together. And if you look inside, you can see the keys are nice inside there. So this stays on and it's tight, so silicone doesn't leak out of it. I just take my tool and I just go like this all the way around it. Like that. Like that. And then I can set it just like this. Okay? And then pinch it down. Just so it stays better. Then I pour the silicone in right here. And just in the corner here and let it fill up. And as it gets to this top surface here, then I'll slowly lay it down and pour a little more if I want. And then set it down. And then once all that silicone is settled, then I peel this off and then I'll top it off. Alright, now I'm going to go to this ear. And I'm also going to pour it kind of high.
If you want to learn more about special effects makeup, please watch the next video in this series by effects artist Tom Jensen and subscribe to Egghead FX.
So then you gotta